Caroline was a 19-year-old woman from York, England. Caroline had dreams of being a forensic psychologist someday and to travel. Her first choice was to go to New York, but after speaking to her family, she decided that Australia would be safer. Caroline had saved up her money to go to Australia with her friend Sarah, who she became close with in college. They landed in Australia in January 2002. Caroline spoke with her family as much as she could. She told them that she was having the time of her life. Caroline's mom said Caroline really enjoyed the people and the sunshine. But by April 2002, Caroline and Sarah were running low on money. They took a detour to pick tomatoes for extra cash. It was common for backpackers to arrive in Bundaberg to pick fruits and vegetables to earn money. On April 10, 2002, around 8:30 p.m., Caroline told Sarah that she was going to make the short walk to a phone box to call her boyfriend. The phone box was located in Bundaberg's town center, which was only about a 7-8 minute walk from where they were staying. By 10 p.m., Sarah was worried. She and another friend went out to look for Caroline. They couldn't find her, so they contacted the Bundaberg police. It wasn't long until after the police began their search that they found Caroline. She had been found lying on the ground under the burned bridge. She had sustained severe injuries to her skull and spine. In the early morning hours of April 11th, Caroline's family was notified about her death. Her brother Richard immediately began searching the internet for any information. With the time difference, the Australian media was already posting articles with headlines like "British backpacker thrown from bridge." Richard realized that his sister had been murdered.
Yeah, well, I was lying awake at 3 a.m. when I wasn't, I don't know whether deep down I felt that there was something wrong. But she'd phoned me on the Sunday, and then on the Monday, it was Grandma's birthday, who was 91, and she'd had a chat. Because of course I wasn't very good at emails in those days, so she chatted on the Sunday, and I remember her talking twice as quick as she normally does, telling me everything she'd done about seeing the animals and she loved animals and the koala bears and all that. And then she'd phone Grandma on her birthday. She was very thoughtful, and then suddenly, in that moment, just a drug addict wanted money and destroyed our lives. And you never get over it.
No.
You learn to live with it and try and do some good, but you never get over it.
Yeah.
Bundaberg police searched the area over the next 48 hours. There wasn't any physical evidence found at the scene. The police picked up cigarette butts in hopes that there was some DNA left on them. There were also cadaver dogs brought in, but nothing was found. Several witnesses came forward that they had heard a woman screaming. They said they weren't able to see anything because it was pitch black outside. It was reported that Caroline had a handbag and cell phone with her, but those items weren't found at the scene. The police started to believe that Caroline might have been robbed. By July 2002, the police didn't have any leads. The Stuttle family went to Australia to make an appeal to the media and speak to anyone they could to keep Caroline's case out there. Several suspects emerged, but the police discovered that these people just wanted money or drugs as a reward. The Bundaberg police and a family liaison officer from the UK named Richard also tried to create a reconstruction, but this didn't lead to anything either. During the reconstruction, the manufacturer of Caroline's handbag had made another bag like the one Caroline had with her. Caroline's actual handbag was eventually found by a farmer in his field. The farm was just a few kilometers from where Caroline had been killed. No one was sure how long Caroline's bag had been in the field. There were no DNA or fingerprints found on it. A call came into the police station from a jail in Rockhampton. 2 inmates came forward to say that inmate named Jan had confessed to killing Caroline. A listening device was put into Jan's cell. A few weeks later, Jan began to talk. He said he was addicted to drugs and saw Caroline walking alone on the bridge. He tried to rob her for money, but she fought back. Jan said Caroline fell off the bridge during the struggle. The police knew this wasn't true. Caroline had severe injuries, and the height of the bridge was a factor. Caroline would have been thrown over to land in the grassy area where she was found. Jan was arrested and charged with murder. On September 27, 2004, Jan's trial began. Caroline's brother and father attended the trial. Jan pled not guilty. But much to the defense's surprise, the prosecution found a new piece of evidence. A note had been written on the bench near a hostel where Jan had once stayed. The note said, "I threw the girl off the bridge, I'm sorry." A handwriting expert said that Jan was most likely the one that wrote it. The jury deliberated and found Jan guilty. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison with no chance of early parole. Jan was released from prison in May 2020. Caroline's family created the Caroline Rainbow Foundation. It's a charity that works to raise awareness of the importance of safer travel.
Yeah, well, I was lying awake at 3 in the morning when I got, so I wasn't, so whether, I don't know whether deep down I felt that there was something wrong. But she'd phoned me on the Sunday, and then on the Monday, it was Grandma's birthday, who was 91, and she'd had a chat. Because of course I wasn't very good at emails in those days, so she chatted on the Sunday, and I remember her talking twice as quick as she normally does, telling me everything she'd done about seeing the animals and going to she loved animals and the koala bears and all that. And then she'd phone Grandma on her birthday. She was very thoughtful. And then suddenly, in that moment, just a drug addict wanted money and destroyed our lives. And you never get over it.
No.
You learn to live with it and try and do some good, but you never get over it.
Young agents, thank you for your attention. Write down what you think about this case in comments. Thank you and see you in the next episode. Bye.